Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Between Two Flags. I'm your host, Mike Nasche, the Executive Director of Impact to Hero. We've got a great show for you today. I am with my friend JP Lane, Army veteran, double-leg amputee, musician, and all-around funny guy. JP, so glad to have you here. Thanks, you for being here.
Appreciate it.
So we've only known each other for a short period of time, but I think in many ways we've become fast friends, and I'm just a huge fan of your story. I've said before and a couple other times that I feel that you are just a shining example of post-traumatic growth. And for those of you that may not know what post-traumatic growth is this idea that your challenges and your struggles in life, they just provide you opportunities to overcome those things that were these challenges and to become an even better version of yourself. And so JP has a powerful story, which we're going to get into in a minute. And you might be able to see from the way that we have the cameras now, but JP is missing both of his legs. And you're going to tell us why and how that happened and how your life has become so much different since then.
In 2008, that's when I decided to join the Army. But I'm sure, as every soldier can tell you, they join the military for a reason. Mm-hmm. Right? So I joined about a year and a half or so after I graduated high school, and that was because I was reminded of a promise I made myself back in 8th grade. In 8th grade, for me, that was in 2001, which everybody knows in 2001 what happened, right. September 11th. So when the towers fall, it was a devastating event for me. I'll never forget it. In 8th grade, our language arts teacher was teaching whatever she was teaching. And normally they leave the room and come back with a TV. Everyone expects movie day, right?
Okay, yeah.
So all of us were excited. We're like, yeah, what? I don't know why, but she's going to put on a movie. So that wasn't the case. She turns on the TV and turns to the news channel. And all of a sudden we're watching the first tower drop.
Wow.
And it was...
As an 8th grader.
As an 8th grader, our student, all of us as students were just mind blown at why this was happening, what was going on, and our teacher informs us that we're being attacked. And of course, after knowing this and watching the second tower fall, we're all in tears.
Yeah.
Everybody in my class. And that was the moment I told myself, when I get old enough, I'm going to join the military so that never happens again.
Hey, cool deal. Well, dang, it's got to be a wild story on how you go from, joining the way that you did, being a reservist, and now you're sitting here, in the post-traumatic growth library, missing a couple of legs, got no feet over here.
What?
And how did all that happen?
Well, this is actually a story that I guess would be unique, but I guess I've heard one other person say that happened the same exact way to them too. Or maybe they're just copying my story. I don't know.
What is it?
But as the 12 Bravo combat engineer in Afghanistan, our job was to search for IEDs and clear the routes.
Okay.
So we would go down each route every single morning and search for IEDs and clear the way. And July 2nd, 2011 was my third and final blast that I was in personally.
Okay.
They finally figured out, the Taliban had finally figured out how to make an explosive, an IED big enough, strong enough to penetrate the RG-31s that we were rolling in, and which have a V bed at the bottom that protect us from any of the IED coming through the truck.
Yeah, I rode an RG-31 as well. For those that might not know, the RG-31, the truck was designed to withstand the blast of most improvised explosive devices. So, this is what you were riding in. And, okay, so now.
Yeah, just to show you or give you an idea of how much power these trucks could handle, one of our sergeants actually hit one of the biggest IEDs in Afghanistan, period, 800 pounds.
Wow.
And it did nothing but flip the truck. It never went through the truck.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, but in regards to the third IED blast that I was in, they figured that out. They put a shape charge or a round. So I explain it to civilians as just a big bullet about this tall and this big. They put it on top of the 200-pound IED.
Wow.
So when it went up, it penetrated straight through my truck like butter. It blew off my engine, the front tires were gone, and flipped our truck onto the right side. Now, to get to the real gritty part of this story is the fact that it was my day off.
Oh, wow.
So now you're already seeing the fact that I'm sitting in the driver's seat and the truck is tilted and things have happened, but it was my day off. I wasn't even supposed to be there. And our platoon leader had miscounted the number of troops needed for the mission because they didn't realize bigwigs were coming through the area and we needed to clear this route twice. So we needed another truck and more soldiers. So I volunteered to go on mission that morning, and we get in our trucks, and 99% of my missions that I was on, I was the gunner for any of the trucks, whether it was the Buffalo, the RG-31s, or anything. I was always the gunner. So that's where I went. I was in the turret. We go out. We go on to the route that I was hit on, which in the morning, we had to cover it the first time, then come back later in the afternoon and cover it again. The truck in front of me gets blown up in the morning on Route Red Stripe. Everybody was okay. Everybody was fine. We got a new truck, a new crew, a new medic even, thank God.
And this is supposed to be your day off.
Yeah. And it was crazy because the front truck, do you know what a Husky is?
I do.
The Husky, for those who don't, have a GPR system, which is a ground penetrating radar system on the front of it. And it searches through the dirt, pretty much telling us what's under there up to 6 feet. And so when the density changed, when he rolled over the hole, all he thought was they buried the dirt, and that's just the dirt.
Right. They just refilled. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we didn't bother to check it.
Wow.
So the rest of the convoy goes through. I was, I believe, the last truck in the convoy, and it was the easiest target. So most people that he could get, and he picks my truck, and it blows up, and all of a sudden now I'm laying sideways, completely snapped in half. Both my legs were amputated. My left femur snapped in half. My pelvis snapped in half. My spine dislocated from my pelvis. My right arm snapped in half. My right middle finger was amputated. My 4 front teeth were knocked out. And everything inside my torso was destroyed by shrapnel except for my heart and my left lung.
My goodness. Can you tell us how it seems, I know you well enough to know that you just have this wonderful love of life and this great attitude, and that you're so positive, and you're able to crack jokes about, the not having to do leg day, or don't have to buy socks. I think I heard you say, there's some event. You have this. Where does that come from? How are you able to have such a good attitude after you've been through so much? Tell us about that
question. Because I can take you back to the moment where I was in the Center for the Intrepid, and even though I didn't like who I looked at in the mirror and what I looked at and what I saw, once I realized that God was with me and he was going to give me the strength to get through this, my attitude changed. At least my mindset changed for being able to handle this and being okay with this.
So did that happen, was there a moment that happened, or was that over the course of a long time, or was, how did that shift for you?
It was over time, I would say. There was moments where God actually spoke to me, and I've had conversations with him, but in regards to him showing me that this is going to be okay, it was over time. There was multiple steps that it took for me to get to that point, because even after the first one, when there was an inkling of me being okay with this, I would fall back down. Life was going to be a roller coaster for a while of depression, and the meds not helping my mindset that they had me on and stuff. That's probably when I started being a lot more happy with my situation, and also paying attention to what God was wanting me to do with my life. And the soldiers in the Center for the Intrepid in San Antonio would ask me, Lane, how are you so freaking happy? Like, you have no legs, and you're walking around here just happy as can be. And everyone else is all depressed and wanting to take their own life. And I was like, yeah, I was in your shoes. I mean, not
no
literally.
Yeah.
I was in your prosthetics, I mean, if they fit. But I told them, I was like, look at everything that we're going to be getting or we already have been blessed with. There's organizations out there building homes for warriors. And so we're going to get a home. There's organizations out there helping us with all sorts of things, handing warriors blessings left and right. And depending on the injury that they sustained, the military gave them a lump sum of money or whatever, which ultimately meant you got a truck. Especially since we're in Texas, you bought a truck.
Okay.
And so I was telling them all of the material things that they have, I have. But I have a smile and joy, and they don't. And that means the only thing they're missing is God. That's how I got through everything I went through.
Wow.
All the pain and the torture, which I can promise you was excruciating,
right.
I was only able to survive all of that with my suicidal thoughts and everything I'd gone through because of my faith. Yeah. And they started realizing that. So I'm sitting there. I believe it was either right before I got my prosthetics or just after I got my prosthetics and learned how to drive. And I'm driving in my car, and there's moments in our life where it's inevitable we're going to ask God the question, why? Mm-hmm. Why did this happen? Why am I going through this? Why me? Mm-hmm. And so, of course, I'm driving and I have the radio on soft, and I'm probably playing hip hop because I'm in a Nissan 370Z, so it's a little sports car, and normally it's hip hop music with a sports car. Anyways, so I'm driving around and arguing with God and telling him, what do you want me to do with my life? Because I'm literally fed up with this. I'm tired of it. And I'm either just going to end it, because even though I might seem happy on the outside to everybody, I'm still having my internal problems, and I don't want to deal with it anymore.
So you're struggling bad at this moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I tell him, I'm like, what do you want me to do with my life? Give me a sign. And I kid you not, on my radio pops up a Christian song called Only a Mountain by Jason Castro.
Okay.
And the song starts playing, and I'm like, what is going on? I start listening to it, and by the time it gets to the chorus, it says, this is only a mountain. You tell it to move, it'll move. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what? This is only a mountain. My tears. I'm like crying just thinking about it. Because it was God speaking to me through that song. Yeah. And he was telling me everything's going to be okay. This is only a mountain. It's only a short trip that you're on. This pain, the suffering, the hate that you may have deep in your heart, everything that's going on, it's only going to be here for a short period of time. And you can get past it. And so I was like, okay, all right, I'm listening. What do you want? And I hear him tell me, go get a guitar. Start music.
So you're a drummer. Have you played guitar before this? Like maybe a little bit?
No, everybody knows the G chord and the D chord. But other than that, I might have known one more chord back in the day. But I never played guitar. I was a drummer like at heart.
Okay. So you feel like you're being called to go get a guitar. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Pick up the story there.
So I'm like, okay. And I'm pretty sure I was on my way to a medical appointment. And I just turned around and I went straight to the guitar store.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't care what's going on.
So there's some definite obedience here.
Yeah.
You felt that, it was loud and clear enough for you to turn the car around. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I've heard pastors, people, anybody. I've heard people who are strong in their faith tell me, if you don't listen to him, he'll give the blessing to someone else. And I'm like, okay, I'm in need of a blessing right now.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'm going to listen.
All right.
So I go to the guitar store, I buy this guitar, and microphone and stand, everything you need to pretty much get started with doing some music. And then I go home and I start practicing. I'm like, you know what? This song literally just saved my life, Only Mountain, so I'm going to practice it. I'm going to learn how to play this song.
Okay.
Thank God it was easy. It's 4 chords. so, not saying it's a bad song. It is a beautiful song. But it was an easy song for a beginning guitarist to learn.
Okay.
And until the bridge, and then it's 2 chords extra, whatever.
All right.
So, easy song. I learn it before I go to bed. I start practicing it pretty much.
That day you learned it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I start practicing it on a daily basis just to, because I'm like, you know what? I love this song. I want to do something with this song. Mm-hmm. And I look up recording studios in San Antonio.
Okay.
And I find a recording studio and I go and record the song. And I played all the instruments on the music video that I made for that song. Yeah.
Okay, so you started off as a drummer. Yeah. Now you learned, because this song you went and learned how to play guitar. You bought a guitar, went and learned how to play it. What else did you have to play in order to record this video? I went to the recording studio and I talked to the producer there who owns it. His name's Chris Leak. And he helped me learn how to play the piano part, the bass part. I did the guitar part. I played the drums. And then I sang. Okay, so now you're full on like hardcore, like super talented musician now from going to play the drums, and now you're doing all of this, and it's because of this one song.
Yeah, this song changed my life, so I'm all in or nothing.
Okay, I love it. You got me hooked. Keep going. Don't stop.
So I'm in the studio, and he helps me record the song, and we make a music video out of it, and I put it on YouTube. I'm like, you know what? This song isn't just for me, and even though it might be not that good of a version because it's not the best put together necessarily and master produced and all that stuff 100%, but it's something that I just wanted to get out quick, that maybe other soldiers or maybe other people would see this video and be inspired by it, because double amputee is doing something different that no one's ever seen before. And he's living life. So I put it on YouTube. And I believe that was in October of 2012. And before the year was even over, I think it was a week after I put it on YouTube, I get a call from the White House asking if I would perform that song at the presidential inauguration in 2013.
You're not getting, for real?
Yeah, they asked, is this JP Lane? And I'm like, yes. They're like, would you like to join us at the presidential inauguration for President Obama in Washington, D.C. for his inauguration? And I'm like, you have the wrong JP Lane. I literally just picked up a guitar a few months ago. You're the double amputee warrior who sang Only a Mountain, correct? Yes. No, you're the one we want. Okay. So,
like, have you learned a lot of other songs by this time?
No. I got one song under my belt. Like, okay. Yeah, maybe 2 if I could, like, hear it real quick.
Maybe you could play Happy Birthday or something.
Yes,
like,
pretty much. And so, I was like, okay, is that the only song I gotta sing? They're like, yeah, we want you on stage and we want you to sing Only Mountain and tell your story. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is my first gig live. My very first gig. Being in the front where I never wanted to be in the first place. And I'm now doing it legless.
Oh my goodness.
Like, of all the funny, ironic ways to get up front, I had legs and I felt comfortable with myself back in the day. Yeah. And I wanted to be further from the front than you could imagine.
Oh my goodness.
You take my legs from me and I'm like, I want to be up front, I guess. I don't know.
With half the free world watching you.
Well, it was incredible because I put the video on YouTube and I had maybe 300 likes. Because I was just sending it to friends and family and stuff. By the end of the inauguration weekend, I had over 30,000 likes.
Oh, wow.
And what I didn't know was one of the stages, they have multiple stages at the inauguration. And one of the ones that I was on was actually live on the radio.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what station. I don't remember any of the details.
Okay.
But they told me, thank God, after I was done singing. Because otherwise I probably would have been even more embarrassed. And but it was just an amazing experience. And after that, that's when I knew, I was like, God, you wouldn't tell me to grab a guitar, inspire me with this song, and have my first live gig be at a presidential inauguration where on the same stage I was standing on, there were country artists. I'm not a country artist myself. I love country, but I'm not a country artist. There was country artists on the stage literally telling me in front of the crowd and on the radio that they've worked their whole career to get to the presidential inauguration.
Right.
And I did it in 3 months with a YouTube video. And so it's all of that. There's no, I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah, these are God incidences.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, from the very start with the song, I thought God was just giving me something to go through my therapy.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be my therapy to get me through this junk, this crap, all the pain and the suffering and the learning how to walk and therapies and all that stuff. It was going to be the strongest therapy to help me get through. I had no idea what it was going to turn into. It was just really cool to inspire people and put a smile on people's faces with my story and singing. And I'm like, I've been doing this for a little while now, like about a year and a half, and I want to keep doing this. And so I keep going to different events and traveling the United States. I eventually get myself to Brazil, and I tour in Brazil. I go to Mexico, perform in Mexico, and then fast forward to literally this past April of 2018, and I got to go back to Afghanistan and perform that song and a couple other songs and tell my story to tens of thousands of soldiers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Wow.
Oh, and I forgot I did Trump's inauguration too.
Let's just throw that one out there too.
I forgot. My soldiers.
That's just my little detail here.
My soldiers are more important. I love my troops.
That's really cool.
So,
so that's an incredible story, and YouTube is not the only way to tell an incredible story. I understand you're writing a book.
I am. I'm so excited about it. My wife is Crystal. She's actually the one that's kicked my butt into gear to get it going, because the Army didn't teach me how to read or write, So I'm writing it. It's called Walking Again.
Okay.
And I'm not even gonna say the cover because it's gonna be so cool. It's gonna blow your mind.
No, I want to go in fresh.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. But I'm writing about my story growing up as a kid, because a lot of people, they actually look at me and think that I grew up with a silver platter or whatever it's called. I don't even know, because I was so poor. I was so poor I couldn't afford the O or the R at the end of that word. But anyways, Po. Literally, my dad started in a trailer home with holes in it.
Oh man.
So I tell my story growing up and where I came from, and then where the Army had taken me and all of that. And then where I've gone, where God's taken me since after the Army, because I'm no longer in the U.S. Army. I'm medically retired out, but I'm still in God's Army. So He's still keeping me on point and focusing. So I'm so happy writing this book right now, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be out in October.
Well, I'm looking forward to adding it to our shelf.
Yes.
As you know, Impact a Hero, we love books, and one of our goals is to help veterans overcome their struggles with post-traumatic stress by teaching them post-traumatic growth. And one of the best ways in which we can do that is changing your inputs. I could talk about that all day long, but the books that you read, the people that you spend time with, the things that you watch, stuff you listen to is so important for your growth. And books have changed my life. 5 years ago, I went through a lot of stuff, and we all have 168 hours every week. Yeah. And I realized how many of those hours I was giving to my TV. and it was an opportunity for me to escape, to just zone out. It was avoidance was my coping mechanism, and my method was TV.
Right.
So I had to turn it off. And I still love movies, and it's not that I like never ever look at a TV, but for me, I had to cut it out. And one of the ways in which I filled that gap was with reading books.
Yeah.
And there's so many here that have made a massive impact, and I'm really excited to hear your story. I mean, it was so fun to hear it here, but there's some nuances and some minutia that would otherwise get lost that you can dig into and tell in the written word. So I'm excited to see what that. I'm just going to make a huge difference in the lives of so many people.
That is definitely the plan, because there's so many people struggling with PTSD, and they're out there just searching and looking for help, and even if they're not, maybe my book, whether it's the physical book itself, may land in their lap, or they might hear it on Audible.
Well, I think a lot of the books that I read, it's because I heard the author tell a short little story, like on an interview like this, where somebody gets inspired or encouraged from a video. Same thing with your video. You're on YouTube, put you in the White House for to sing your song. It's so amazing. But this story will probably get more people to pick up your book or to read it and to learn about it, and that's really encouraging. So.
Yeah, I hope that is the case, because even if they're doing all right, but they might know someone who's struggling. There's a lot of people who will hit me up on Facebook, JP, this person I know is struggling, and can you call them? Can you email them or message them on for social media and stuff? And we find out what's going on with them, because at the end of the day, if they're mentally struggling, that's the worst thing that could happen, is someone doesn't take the call and say, I'm going to go help.
Yeah.
I'm no longer in the Army to protect the nation in a uniform, but I can still do it out of uniform if they're struggling mentally, physically, whatever.
I think in many ways we have a greater scope of potential impact as veterans than we even did while we were on active duty.
Yeah.
We can influence the soldiers that we're surrounded with and that we work with, but as veterans and with the power of social media, as you know better than most, the reach that can take place there is really powerful. But we at Impact Hero we talk a lot about post-traumatic growth and how we can help overcome post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress disorder. I know you have an interesting take on PTSD.
Right.
Will you share that with us?
Yeah. A lot of people were telling me, especially when I was in the hospital, there would be generals that would come up to me, and officers and all sorts of active duty, and people telling me, do you have PTSD? And I say, no. And they'll be like, yeah, you do. What? You're going to tell me that I have PTSD? Yeah, there's no way you've gone through everything you've gone through and you don't have PTSD. And I would think to myself, there's been the depression side of things and all of that stuff, but that's like telling me that I get a paper cut and you're going to call me paper cut man for the rest of my life. Okay. The paper cut's going to heal. And I know that because I just got one.
Okay.
But they were telling me I'm going to have PTSD, and I do have PTSD. And I would tell them, no, I don't. I'm healing from it. I'm moving past it. If I have PTSD, it's the best version of PTSD I've ever heard of in my life. Okay. Because I have joy and I have a smile on my face. And so this kept on occurring. These conversations kept on occurring all the time. And finally, it clicked to me that everyone's saying PTSD, 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 and post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm like, you know what? People need to stop telling me what I have. And how about I tell them what I have?
So what do you have?
Post-traumatic successful domination.
Successful domination.
Yeah, because I'm dominating my trauma right now. It doesn't have a hold of me. I have a hold of it. And that's the way it's going to remain for the rest of my lifetime. Because I'm not going to let anything try and bring me down. I'm not going to let anything try and distract me from the mission that I have set for myself and that God has for me and the path I'm on. So I don't have any sort of stressful occasions may arise up in my lifetime. Yeah. Life isn't perfect, but I'm not going to have PTSD unless it's post-traumatic successful domination.
Post-traumatic successful domination. I like that. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Have you seen my favorite shirt?
It's like, not that you missed me, but it's something about like they tried to kill you, but they couldn't, right? What's that you want to talk about?
Nice try, Taliban.
There it is. Nice try, Taliban. I think I saw you like doing a march or a run or something like that.
Yeah, actually, that's when I went back to Afghanistan in April last year, and they put me back in uniform, but I made sure to bring that shirt. That's the one I've seen. That's really good. And so that mentality started when I made that shirt. It was an idea my dad gave me. And it literally gave me and my wife, Crystal, she even came up with the idea we should make a Nice Try trademark and brand it or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. And so anything in life that tries to bring us down, we should all first laugh at it, whatever tries to bring us down in this world. Laugh at it, because laughter is awesome and it's a medicine. And then say, nice try.
Nice try.
Just like that shirt did for me for the Taliban.
That's good.
Yeah.
Book I'm reading or listening to right now is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And this guy's story is just absolutely incredible. I'm only halfway through the audiobook, but I was hooked after the first few minutes. And he has very much the same attitude when it comes to, it's like, I mean, even there's a title, Can't Hurt Me. Yeah. And he the way that he frames things in his mind, and that how not just incredibly powerful and fit this guy is physically, but it's between the ears that he has this attitude that he has, that you can't hurt me and I got this, is very inspiring and encouraging. And I think in many ways, you're going to have a similar impact by helping people understand that, hey, I got this. It was that nice try. Yeah. It's kind of a fun way to look at it. Well, that's super cool. So we talked a couple of times about social media, and is there a way that our audience can connect with you and find you? Where do they go to get connected with you?
Yeah, so if you look up JP Lane Official, that is my title for everything. Facebook, Instagram. I don't do Snapchat, but if you look up YouTube, all of that stuff is out there. You'll be able to message me and hit me up. And if you're going through anything that may be struggling internally, mentally, or someone that is, please let me know. I'm always there. I always answer my messages. I've even told people that if a soldier is struggling and they know I have a concert that I'm at, if they're calling me, then I know it's for a reason. And I will pause the concert and I will answer that call for my soldier.
Wow.
And so test me. I don't care. I don't care. I will do it. So my troops come first.
That's really cool. There's so many lessons, man. I could talk to you all day long, and I hope we have an opportunity to connect again soon. There's so many things that we can do and we can talk about, but we're going to save those for another time. Man, I can't thank you enough for making the trip and to sharing a bit of your story with our audience. And I just want you guys to know that I told you from the very beginning that JP is a shining example of post-traumatic growth, and you can obviously see why with this story, the importance that he ties to his faith and his mindset and connecting with his friends and giving back, taking care of his soldiers. You heard him say that multiple times. Those are the things that we believe to here at Impact to Hero. And we want to be able to connect with you. You can find us on our website at impactttohero.org. You can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, even on LinkedIn. If you're here in the Houston area, we'd love to connect with you. You can come check a book out of our post-traumatic growth library, and before too long, you'll be able to get JP's book right here. But I'd actually rather them buy it.
Yeah.
That would be even better. So you can check it out here if you want, but you should go buy it wherever books are sold. I'm sure they'll be here before too much longer. But I'm looking forward to that. And the events that we do, JP will be at a handful of them, and so if you want to connect with him, you can do that through Impact a Hero. But connect with us. Like I said, if you're here, come to our Toastmasters group, participate in our mentorship development program. We'd love to help you any way that we can. There are so many organizations out there that can do a lot for you and help, and we would love to be one of those to serve you. JP, thank you so much for being here. It was really great having you. And everybody out there, just remember that it's up to you. Growth is a choice. So please choose growth.